Oh,
in deeper leagues.
Oakland's offense has been sneaky good this month. They've played 12 games. They have a game with 19 runs against the O's, 18 runs against the Phillies, 6 against the 9 against the Red Sox. They've been shut out once, but they have 5 or more runs in 9 out of those 12 games.
Well, do you want to hear
the Brent Rooker effect?
I almost dropped him. I'm so glad I didn't. I had him on the drop screen.
Crazy
he's a 40 home run dude that you got, round 15 or something. Brent. I remember looking at it, and it was between, should I get Anthony Santander or Brent Rooker? And on each draft, I would pick one or the other. But yeah, Brent Rooker's been carrying that team. And Estuary Ruiz just had another rehab start, did well. He's coming back any day now, so go stash that Estuary Ruiz for the Oakland A's, who, my bold prediction, leads the league in stolen bases when he finally comes back, and they let go Tyler Nevin. And so he comes back, and he says, F you, Oakland management, I'm going to steal 50 bases. That's my bold prediction. Estuary Ruiz.
All right.
Dreamweaver. Yeah, we can dream, my brother. I love it. Britain's been on the Estuary Ruiz train for a long time, and I respect that he's sticking with it during the most difficult time when he's been non-existent. But you're right. Final 60 games here, he could steal 30 bases if he gets the playing time. Trade deadline, does he get moved even, or does someone else get moved and open up opportunity for him? It's an interesting guy that certainly is someone everyone should keep an eye on.
Did you guys hear there's a stat that Oakland A's, the games with 16-plus runs scored by a team in a game, the Oakland A's have 3. The rest of MLB combined with 0.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I did not hear that.
My team.
What? That's nuts.
Oakland A's have done it 3 times.
That's crazy.
And I think they're like the 24th team in runs scored. It's something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, they strike out. They can get, Brian Bayo had 11 Ks against them recently, so they can get whiffed on, but then they can unload. Actually, by the way, that Bayo start was one of the most bizarre starts ever. He struck out 11 guys, but he had like a 2.4 whip and 8 ERA in that game. Very weird start.
Yeah.
They're an enigma.
I had 3 guys I wanted to bring up really quick for second half breakouts. First, this wasn't going to be a podcast without an Oriole being mentioned here. Kobe Mayo is on his way up. I think he's going to be in for a big second half here to help the O's. I also like Schumann, since we're talking about the A's.
Yeah.
Max Schumann, he's been playing well over the last 2 weeks. The All-Star break could not have come at a worse time for him. He's hitting dongs, he's hitting for average, he's stealing bases. So the A's got sneaky fantasy value to Doc's point. And then another guy that I'm really, really high on, another rookie here, Brooks Lee of the Minnesota Twins. If you guys watch him play, I don't know if you guys have seen any of his games. There's just he's got the it factor for me. He just passes the eye test. He looks comfortable at the plate. Hopefully, towards the end of the first half, there he was batting in the 3-4 spot last 2 games. So hopefully that continues. Obviously, when Royce Lewis comes back, that's going to be a different story. But I like Brooks Lee a lot, especially too because he's going to have 3 position eligibility between second, third, and short if they keep moving him around. So.
Brooks Lee is they needed that hitting. The Twins right now don't have very many as a lineup. They're pretty decent, but in general, they don't have very many proven hitters. And Brooks Lee is the type of guy that's not going to strike out, has a sub 20 K percentage, and he can hit the top of that lineup and be a guy that gets on base. Will he hit 20 home runs? I don't think so. Probably more of like a 10 to 15 homer guy. But he's going to be atop that Twins lineup and get on base and produce. So I think he's definitely a good ad for sure.
Can I ask about one of the guys Mike mentioned there, Mike Virginia? Follow him on Twitter, @_Mike VA. He's a wizard and a fine gentleman. But Mike, is it more than fan pride that you're saying Kobe Mayo will be a factor? What else are you basing that on? I need to know.
Well, there was an interview with Mike Elias who said that Kobe Mayo is super close to coming up. So I think he'll be in the first week or 2 after All-Star break that he'll be up with the O's. Ramon Urias.
So someone gets shipped out?
No.
Someone else goes at the deadline, a hitter?
Well, I think they'd probably move on from Ramon Urias. I think that'd probably be the first and foremost thing that they do, and play Mayo at third, because I don't think he's taken. Maybe he has a couple first base reps in there, because obviously that's between O'Hearn and Mountcastle. But and he's got nothing left to prove in AAA. If you guys give me a second, I'll bring up the quote with Mike Elias. It's just the quote unquote runway was mentioned. They just need to make sure that they have that, which means somebody's got to get cut for him to come up. So. And it might be Ramon Urias. So,
okay, fair enough. I do think the Orioles just have so much hitting that, like, it's crazy that they brought up all these guys and they still have more guys that they can continue to add to their lineup.
While we're on the Orioles hitting, because this is a later segment of buy low and sell highs, but do you think Gunnar Henderson is a sell high?
No.
So he has 1 stolen base in the last 22 games. He has 2 home runs this month. Over the last 7 days, he's hitting 192 with 2 RBIs.
Ooh.
I think if you just looked at his season stats, 286, 28 homers, 63 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, you wouldn't look past his stats. But a lot of that production came early in the season. Now, I'm not saying you sell him for pennies on the dollar, but if you could get like a really good premium, like a good hitter and a good pitcher, I can't think off the top of my head, but I think
Tarek Skubal?
Yeah, maybe not him. Maybe like Dylan Cease and Alec Boehm. I don't know. I'm just throwing 2 names out there. But especially if you believe in the home run, especially if you believe in the home run derby fatigue.
If you look, I have to pull it up, but Alec Boehm is really tailed off. Like, his season-long stats are really good, but if you look after
like Gunnar Henderson.
But I'm saying, like, Alec Boehm, if you're saying Alec Boehm.
I love Gunnar, by the way.
I would say, like, you have to give me a Skubal type player for me to get rid of Gunnar Henderson. Even though he struggled this month, that's not to say that he's going to struggle the rest of the year.
He has a 57% hard hit rate. That's insane.
Yeah. Hey, can I read the Kobe Mayo quote real quick from Elias? Quote unquote, he's in an exceptionally good spot. We talk about him all the time. He's very close. He's going to help us this year. It's just about the right moment and the right opportunity and the right runway for something like it to happen. And there's moving parts. The fact that I'm talking about him at a press conference right now, he's right there. We're thinking about it. We're working on it. I'm sure it's coming very soon. So that's what I'm basing that off of.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point we'd be shocked at this point if he didn't come up, right? Like,
yeah,
the way it's being talked about, and the fact that, I mean, the Orioles are one of the better teams in baseball, whether it's an injury or just lack of performance, there is a spot for him there.
Yep.
And he says, "I would love, Doc, to have you join my $1,000 league, 18-team league with that."
That's fine. I'm zigging when others zag. I'm third in TGFBI. I know what I'm talking about, maybe.
You are, that's right. Third in TGFBI, you're rocking it. Guys, who's confident in rest of season? Nick Pivetta, Reese Olson, Gavin Williams, or Jose Barrios?
Good question.
I'm gonna let you guys, if anybody wants to say one first. I think I know where I'm going with mine, but anybody wants to say anything, they can feel free to.
Yeah.
Well, the Pallazzo podcast is pro Britton and Mike Mo. I'm just gonna say we're pro Gavin Williams on the show, Marty. Yeah. You need to know that, Marty.
Thank you. I appreciate that piece of evidence. Off the top of my head, with no type of research, which is always the best way to make your decisions in fantasy baseball, I'm gonna go with Pivetta, Olson, Williams, and Barrios in that order.
So actually, you know what? Switch Pivetta.
Sorry. Wait. Lee's confident. Oh, I know what I'm doing, guys. Lee's. Who am I the least confident in that? Gavin Williams.
Oh.
I'm with you, Marty.
Oh.
It's health-wise, nothing personal.
Guys, Palazzo.
He's good.
Marty.
Step
Marty. High five. Marty. I gotta figure out which. Yeah, high five. We kind of did it. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, we did.
Dave, is it a clean sweep for triple play? Are you going Gav Williams out of this group?
No, not for me.
Yeah.
I'm going Reese Olson.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think he's averaging less than a strikeout per 9. His whip is decent, 1.18. It could be better, could be worse. It's about major league average right there. His expected ERA is 3.46, but his hard hit percentage he's giving up 44.6%, above major league average. I do think there's some regression coming here just by how hard he gives up the hard contact he's giving up with the lack of whiffs. That's what scares me. Even though his expected stats aren't like jumping off the page bad, just something tells me that Reese Olson is not going to continue this 3.3 ERA rest of season. It's going to be closer to 4. He is the first pitch inning god, the NRFI god, but outside of that, I'm not with it for Reese Olson here.
I will say this for Reese. Yes, batters make hard contact against him consistently. However, a lot of those balls are hitting to the ground. He has a 51.4% ground ball rate. So you pair that with Comerica Park. I just like that. I don't think he has a huge ceiling. He has an average strikeout rate. You already touched on that. How many games are the Tigers going to win? Who knows? But it's a good, consistent 3.5 ERA guy that you can just put in. But if you're going for upside, he'd probably be ranked last out of this group.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, Pavetta just had back-to-back 10 games.
Yeah. I said that a couple, maybe about a month ago on our show, that at least Pavetta is going to get you Ks. The ERA is something left to be desired. I think his expected ERA sits in like 3.7, which isn't terrible. But for me here, it's Barrios. If you guys bring up his StatCast page, it's ice cold. He gives up a lot of hard hits. He doesn't get a whole lot of whiffs. K percentage is down. His expected ERA is 4.95, and guys are hitting 274 for an expected batting average. So the Blue Jays are next to the White Sox, or the dumpster fire of baseball. So it's Barrios for me. And the only thing is like, do the Blue Jays keep him? Like, the only way I would feel confident is if they moved him at the deadline, which I don't think is going to happen. But it's his StatCast page is ice cold. So it's Barrios for me of this group.
So we have Gavin Williams, 2 votes. We have 1 vote for Olson, 1 vote for Barrios. What about you, Britton? What are you thinking?
I'm going Nick Pivetta. I'm the least confident in Nick Pivetta. He's had a terrible start to the year. I know he's kind of been okay lately, but his ERA is over 4, whereas Gavin Williams, Olson, actually Barrios kind of sucks too, frankly. But, the person I'm most confident in is Gavin Williams, because, look, here's what happened. All right. So one night, home alone, watching, a movie, Lifetime movie, Mommy, May I Sleep with Danger. I don't know if you've seen it. It's classic. Mike VA was going through a tough day at work. He came over. We watched the movie together, shared some popcorn. Look, one thing led to another. And Gavin Williams is our love child. And I will not abandon Gavin Williams under any circumstances. His first start back was terrible.
It was a little rough.
Yeah. It was terrible or terrible.
Second was better.
The second was okay. The third was not very good. It was good. He's trending in the right direction is what I'm saying. So he's on, I don't know, the AL winning most successful team right now. I love the Cleveland Guardians. Gavin Williams, and I've watched him pitch I watched the whole thing because I might have had a bet on it. I watched the whole thing. He is an angry man. He does not want to give up the ball. The manager came out. He got mad. He is a gamer. He's going to have a great second half of the season. Gavin Williams for the Cleveland Guardians. I think Pivetta is going to crash and burn. I think the whole Toronto Blue Jays are the most disappointing team in Major League Baseball. Like, not the Marlins, not the White Sox. It's the Blue Jays. They have no excuse. They are terrible. It's all the manager's fault. He sucks.
Yes.
And Barrios is in that toxic locker room where everyone talks, everyone knows they're trying to trade Bichette, they're trying to trade Vlad Jr., and those guys, they're not looking to see when the game starts. They're looking to see when the game ends because they want out. They're going home. They're going out. Toronto, lots of fun things to do. That whole team's a disaster. So no confidence in Barrios or Nick Pivetta. I think he's the bad. Remember the show, the movie The one with Ricky Vaughn in it, the wild thing.
Major League, I believe.
Major League. That's right. I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. Nick Pavetta is bad Ricky Vaughn, not good Ricky Vaughn. He's bad Ricky Vaughn. So no Nick Pavetta.
Britton, at first I love that, Britton. But I have a question for you. Gavin Williams' elbow. Tell the people, what is your confidence level that he'll be able to pitch the rest of the season?
100% confident. 100% confident. They brought him back slow and sure, and he's young, and he has great genetics. Not so much from Mike's side, but from my side, a family long of genetically altered people through nicotine and cheap domestic beers, where now he has a magical elbow that will carry him for the rest of his life.
How do I
Can't
try to
argue
get
with that.
from that? I don't even
By
know.
the way, Paul Skeens' first pitch was at 98 miles per
I was
hour.
literally going to mention that I should have rode the Mike Virginia
Yay!
punch there and bet that.
You won. Mendy won?
I didn't bet that. I did bet the NRFI though, and I won that.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
David's net worth has gone up so much in the last month.
I've seen that.
That's why he's got a new haircut.
fire!
That's why he's got a new haircut. Everything's going on here. Everything's going right for Mendy here, man.
Boom chakalaka.
The NRFIs, man, they're very profitable. Just got to ride the train. It's a little sweaty at times, but it's a
Of course,
great
it's
feeling.
gambling. I mean, that's implied, right? Let me just say a quick thing to follow Britt and close this part out here. Barrios, by the way, has a long-ass contract still. It's crazy. It technically goes to 2028, which is insane. But he can opt out in 2026 if I don't know why he would, though. But also, if he gets dealt, depending on maybe where he gets dealt, if someone takes on Barrios and that contract, will that matter? I don't know. It seems unlikely that anybody would want to take on his contract. I get that. Reese Olson gets hit hard, but he also is able to, like Marty said, get a lot of ground balls, which is a good thing. He's not a guy who gets a lot of luck on the base pass either when it comes to strand rate. If you look at it, Reese Olson's career strand rate, he never cracks 70%. And some of the better pitchers in the league, or the least lucky or solid pitchers, are at 73%, 74%. Reese Olson, if he could get better luck and improve his ability to get out of jams, there's more to come. There's actually more to come there, but he's never done that even in his minor league career. So I find that fascinating. It's good stuff. Very interesting.
I think people fake on him too because his name is Reese.
Anything I would think that's better. Reese is a cool name.
I love Reese's Pieces, man. They're delicious. I saw E.T. It changed my life forever.
Reese's peanut butter cups are the Halloween go-to, must-have, keep trade cut. Reese's peanut butter cups have to go number one.
Have you tried the cups with
in
the
the
Reese's
crowd.
Pieces in it now? I know that's blasphemy for some, Britain, but I thought it was pretty damn good.
They
It
have
was
the
like a
Reese's
dream.
cup with potato chips in them.
Yes.
Those are nubby.
Shit,
Those are not good.
Salty and savory. What is it? Sweet and
I
savory.
saw at the store. It was peanut butter cups wrapped in like a frozen banana, which sounds pretty good.
We have
Oh,
those.
yeah.
I've not seen that.
We have those in our freezer right now because they're all Reese's are better cold.
Yeah.
Oh, like Thin Mints, like the Girl Scout
Yeah.
cookies.
Spoiler
kind of-
alert: they
my wife
suck.
does that
They're not
too.
good.
It's kind of crazy.
Aw,
As a
devastating.
food marketer, you don't have to necessarily be good. You can just throw these random things together. And if it's like, oh, it didn't work, but there's literally like every combination of food mixed together now.
Well, the example is the Sour Patch
Nothing is
Kids
sacred.
cereal.
Ew!
Or the Sour Patch Kids, Oreos. Sorry,
That
what
is
it is.
just bonkers, man. God
Yeah.
damn.
We're down the food rabbit hole. We'll switch back here. Rest of season: Burleson, Elliot Ramos, Lane Thomas. I am most confident in Alec Burleson. To me, that is no question. In terms of between
least-
Lane Thomas and Elliot Ramos, I will go least confident between them is Elliot Ramos for me, but it's close. What about you guys?
Most confident in Lane Thomas for me. It's easy call.
Yeah, I go Lane Thomas, Burleson, and I'm least confident in Ramos because he strikes out 27% of the time. And
You
Burleson
talked about this on
doesn't-
last month's collab, Marty, remember?
I don't. But
You warned
I have
us.
bad memory.
No, but
There
you
you go.
warned
See?
us, dude. So you're speaking the truth again.
See, that'll be the problem. I'll never be able to I said this because I won't remember that I said it, but that's okay. Alec
I'm here for
Burleson strikes out
The
only
best kind of victory
13.
lapper.
Yeah, one that has no memory. Alec Burleson only strikes out 13.5% of the time. I mean, it's pretty
And he's
good.
hitting second for the Cardinals lineup, and he's been just a dog. He's been like a Great Dane. He's just out there just eating everything up. He's
Kyle Schwarber light.
That's right.
If that makes sense. Like
That does
Alec
make
Burleson talks like Kyle Schwarber, and they should hang out with Kenny Powers from Down and Out, the HBO series with the pitcher, because they all kind of look alike. But it's got to be Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas is a legit power speed, top of the order player. I love Lane Thomas, also from Knoxville, Tennessee, home of the national champions of college baseball.
B.O.
Go B.O.
Victory lap certified.
Let's go to another question here. Are we Ben Rice rest of season believers? We actually had to talk about this, I believe, a week ago about Ben Rice. I'm 100% in on Ben Rice rest of season.
Same.
Doc and Marty, we're in on him. I don't know if were you guys as strong about it as I was? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I said
There's-
go ahead, Marty.
No, go ahead.
Please.
Okay. I like him. High walk percentage, hits the ball hard, doesn't strike out too much at a position you need him.
I
Yeah,
think
and-
he has a David Fry type like run. Very hot, catcher, first base eligible. Plays in a good offense, but he's not going to continue this.
Well, here's the reason I was big on him, and then I want the Pallazzo guys to chime in as well, is take everything out of it. Can you guys name me the Yankees lineup outside the top few guys? So you take away Soto, who's hitting third, or hitting second. You take away Judge, who's hitting third. Volpe was leading off. Now he's hitting fifth, sixth. And Ben Rice was moved to lead off. Can you guys name me the rest of the lineup at the top of your head?
I know
Alex
Glaber.
Verdugo,
Alex Verdugo.
Glaber Torres,
Yep.
DJ?
DJ LeMay, who is playing most of the time, who is hitting under 200.
Oswaldo?
He plays sometimes, depends on who's.
Is there a big name we're missing?
Trevino.
Trevino just got hurt, so they're moving Ben Rice back to catcher.
Got it.
Rizzo's on the IL.
Yes.
Who are we missing? What position are we missing?
Trent Grisham.
Trent Grisham.
How can we forget Trent Grisham?
So you have Trent Grisham hits eighth. Glaber Torres was moved down in the order. Usually, I think he's hitting like sixth now. Basically, if you look at the bottom half of the Yankees lineup, they are all atrocious. All have been hitting atrocious.
Is Trent Grisham a really good defender?
Yes.
Because he's not a good hitter, so it's got to be
Yeah.
something else, right?
Yeah, his
the only
defensive
thing.
metrics are really good.
I got
Um,
you.
He has
But
good
yeah.
patience, but he still whiffs too much, too. If he could whiff less, he'd be a better OBP play.
But I tell you, just also going in person to watch the game, that you get past the first few guys, and then it was just and you can feel the burden that Judge and Soto have been feeling, because if they're not hitting the ball, nobody else was producing. Ben Rice was the only other player that actually was producing, and they moved him into the top of the lineup just for that reason. His ability to take pitches, get on base. He's smacked 8 home runs in the right before the All-Star break. He's going to have a lot of leash
6
to work
dongs.
with.
Yeah.
6. He has a lot of leash to work with for him to not continue to hit atop the Yankees lineup, combined with how bad the bottom of the lineup's been producing. So I think that he is somebody rest of season I would want to roster, even if he's not a 30 home run bat the way he's looking right now. He is somebody that's going to continue to hit atop that lineup.
Rice has a 222 BABIP so far, which may give you hope that he could do better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mendy. I like Ben Rice. I don't have any shares of him, unfortunately, and I wish I did.
Me
But I
neither,
could
Mike.
also see, I could also see the David Fry comparison as well. I mean, I know they both catch and play first base, but I just think Ben Rice's spot in the lineup being sandwiched or hitting in front of Judge and Soto, and if he's getting on base, scoring a lot of runs, those guys are going to knock him in. And I know sometimes I think when he played the O's, he was batting fourth, if I'm not mistaken. So, in one of those games, and hit a 3-run home run off of doo-doo Craig Kimbrell. So, which I fucking hate. But
Dude Brown.
yeah. But Ben Rice, for me, I wish I had a share of him, but I think he's got plenty of leash, like you talked about, Mendy. I think it's a good call.
I think if you're in the Yankees front office, you come down to the clubhouse or to the player locker room and you say, "Look, your walk-up music is Ice Ice Baby from Vanilla Ice," and that's just the way it's going to be. I don't care if you like the song. I don't care what your feelings are. Ice Ice Baby, Ben Rice.
Wait, Britton. Do you remember the parody song that Weird Al Yankovic did of that song? Do you remember that one?
Oh no, I remember the one he did for Coolio.
Oh yeah,
nerdy
Amish Paradise.
No, it was
Amish Paradise. Yeah.
But his parody of Ice Ice Baby was Rice Baby. So that's
no,
perfect.
it wasn't. Are you serious? No, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. He's got to come up. Rice Baby. Dun 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 dun.
It's got to happen. I love it.
It must happen. Must happen.
I can tell you, I went to the Yankees game 2 weeks ago, and when basically there's a crowd that sits in the bleachers, and before the first inning, when they're taking the field, the crowd will yell like all of their names, and then every player will like tip their cap or like acknowledge the crowd. And when they get to Ben Rice, he does this.
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
Pretty smart.
Like Juan Soto was just like
how original.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was like, Ben Rice.
Rice
like
Aroni. Y'all remember Rice Aroni? Where is that too old for you guys?
No, that's still
San Francisco State.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yummy.
All right. Well, Ben Rice seems to be. We all seem to be in agreement with Ben Rice there. Yeah, and Austin Wells is playing at catcher as well. But
who could forget?
Right. What about Matt Verling? Speaking of Detroit Tigers guys here, Matt Verling or Matt Wallner? Categories.
Ooh. Well, playing time still favors Veerling clearly, right? There's no argument there.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
For now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Twins are in it. They want to win, and there could be deals that could happen for the deadline for the Minnesota Twins. So does that favor Wallner? Ben Chase, not Ben Rice, our pal, our Pallazzo podcast partner, our prospects guru, he recently floated the idea that Wallner was brought back up so he could be showcased to be traded, possibly, along with Trevor Larnach, who'd been up. But interesting thought. I don't know.
It's Veerling for me. Wallner just right now doesn't have the playing time, and I do agree with that. Plus, his spot in the lineup hasn't been great either. He's been batting. He batted ninth this last game before the All-Star game, 8th, 6th. He jumps around. He hit 5th one time. He batted 9th again, 8th again. So I just don't. And the playing time is not there for me either. But he hits a shit out of the ball. I just think Veerling's playing time is just going to be better, or more frequent. So I would go Veerling there.
Marty, we were talking about him last week, and we were talking about his strikeout rate, and then he doesn't play against lefties at all. Right. So he's a strictly platoon bat.
Yeah. Veerling has way better contact skills. He gets his bat to the ball consistently. The Tigers are playing him as often as they can because he kind of fills in everywhere. It's Veerling for me. It's not even close. But I will say this: Wallner's got a higher ceiling. So
yes,
I'm not saying cut him.
Well, he wants to know should he drop Wallner for Veerling? He just put it in the chat.
Veerling because I would say Veerling because it's more consistent.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, you guys already looked. Don't say anything. Do you guys know what Matt Wallner's strikeout rate is this season? Let me see how many plate appearances. In 59 plate appearances, what is Matt Wallner's strikeout rate?
I'm gonna guess 37%.
I look, so I can't play.
32%.
Britton, did you look?
I didn't look. I'm going to say 26%.
Doc? I guess Doc doesn't want to play.
36%. 36%.
36%.
I think he wins.
The correct answer is 45.8%.
Oh,
The fact that he's played as much as he has, then just looking at his game log is stupid. So
hey, well, in his defense, like out of the last 7 games, he's had at least 1 hit in 6 of them. I mean, he's he's been on a pretty decent run. With
3
2 home
dongs
runs.
too, right?
Yeah. So
Well,
he's
hang on a minute.
And he was killing it in the minors when he got called up. So yeah, he's just one of those high variance guys.
This is the big thing with that, Mike. It was his first stint up this year. So from March 28th through April 15th, he batted 53 53 average. It's hard to even say that. Now he has a 364 average. So I don't know, maybe made a little bit of a. It's bad, but it's not that as bad. So they worked on him a little bit.
He was a first-round draft pick for the Twins. Like, I don't think they're giving up on him anytime soon. But
Well, they do have a lot of pieces, so that is a fair point. But at the same time, the fact that he wasn't a part of their big chunk of the season where they've been successful shows that they can win without him. So I'd be really interested to see what happens here. Somebody's going. Somebody's leaving Minnesota. They're going to bring in another arm, maybe? Because they have too many young arms they can't trust right now who are pitching well in the minors but are not proven. So there's a need for another guy, like not a Pablo Lopez, but maybe above Chris Paddock, possibly somewhere out there.
Yeah, that back end has been iffy. I mean, Simeon Woods Richardson has stepped up nicely. Pablo Lopez has been. He's been Pablo Lopez-y, I guess. Some good starts, some blow up starts like he had back when he was with the Marlins.
But then he strikes out 14 in a game, right? So the guy is incredible. It's just wild.
Yeah. I don't think I ever would want to roster him for that exactly for that reason. Fantasy Sports asks, in head-to-head points, would you rather have TJ Friedel, Lars Nootbaar, Byron Buxton, or Mr. Butler?
Well, we know Britton's answer right away.
That's right.
Friedel for me.
Yep, that's right. For you too, though, Mike, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to Friedel.
I'm going to go Buxton if he's healthy. Buxton's had a good year this year and hasn't missed too much time.
I'm going to go Nootbaar.
Marty?
It'll be Nootbaar for me.
Hey!
I would go Nootbaar as well.
Hey!
Oh.
There you go.
Hey,
All right.
D. Mindy, who exploded onto the gambling scene when he picked Greg Dortch to score a home run and for some reason put $400 on it and somehow made $50,000. No one knows how, what, why the behind the scenes are. But we know one thing. This man picks winners.
Oh, man.
So
Your check's in the mail.
So who in the second half is your Greg Dortch for the second half of the season?
Man, that's a loaded question, man. Man, I don't know if I have one specific.
I put you on the spot. I'll do mine.
Go ahead.
Mike Talia from the Colorado Rockies. He is a power hitter, first base outfield. His power is coming on. He had 3 dongs the other day, or dingers, or home runs, whatever your preferred thing is. But he's really coming into his power. I love him at Coors. Chris Bryant, see you never. I mean, literally never, ever, never. Bye-bye. I think Mike Talia is going to hit a bunch of home runs for the second half of the season. And if you're in a points league, I think that's going to be crazy, crazy valuable. Does anybody have Marty Party? Do you have a Greg Dortch second half situation?
I don't, but we do often talk about Toglia on this podcast. I know Doc has spent a couple bucks on him, especially when he's at Coors, and not even so. He hits good on the road too. I've noticed he's still at least hitting some home runs on the road. So, man, Greg, do I have a Greg Dortch? I don't think so. I don't think everything that crazy
on the road. I thought he was just a Coors streamer.
Tony hit a bomb just now.
Of course.
Long gone.
My guy, this is one of my bold takes here for my bold predictions since we're on the Rockies. Brenton Doyle finishes as a top 10 fantasy outfielder.
He's definition, like, when you look at his stats, it's insane.
Yeah, he's like top 10 right now.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's already at 15 and 20. His road stats are not great, but he hits the shit out of the ball in Coors. So
WRC plus is 112, which doesn't accommodate for stolen bases, I know, but
right.
Was anybody talking about
he's this
him
year's Nolan Jones
for the season? Like anybody? No. I don't remember hearing his name at all.
He was a 9th hitter, so he was a guy that we knew could steal bases, but we hadn't seen enough from his offensive profile for power and stuff like that.
Fun game here, really quick. Sorry to interrupt, Gove.
No.
Where was his ADP? Let's all go around the horn real quick. What was Brenton Doyle's ADP coming into the year? Nobody look it up.
472.
I'll go
Okay.
524.
Okay.
5'11".
Marty? Brenton?
Can I do the thing? Marty, you go first. I'll go last.
All right, you're gonna Price is Right me.
I'm going to price this right to you. $1, Bob.
$4.75.
What was it, Marty?
$4.75.
Okay. Brenton?
$1, Bob.
467 was his ADP.
Oh wow, Govia was close.
Yeah.
I was. Wow.
467.
So was Marty. Good job.
Yeah.
Can we bring up this thing from Uncle Ted to the chat about Weston Wilson? This is a guy on the Phillies who I really hyped up last year. He's one of these guys who's been a long time minor leaguer, who's 29 years old, almost 30. And Uncle Ted is doing what Uncle Ted does here. He's always mining the minors and the deep, deep ends of the waiver wire for guys like a Weston Wilson, who he's saying could be a Chas McCormick type. He has power and he has speed, and the Phillies did DFA Whit Merrifield. So if Weston Wilson can find some time, this is a guy who strikes out a lot, though. It's a classic profile, right? Power, speed, too many whiffs. But if in this Phillies lineup, Weston Wilson can get some consistent playing time, I agree with Uncle Ted. I think it's really interesting. I still am suspect of it happening, but it's a player to keep an eye on. Definitely keep an eye on Weston Wilson.
It's not going to happen because the Phillies are going to make a trade for like a Luis Robert or another bat. So his playing time is not going to happen. The Phillies are going to go all in and probably get rid of some of their young talent to go out and get a splash move. So
great point. That's classic Dave Dombrowski. Take it from me and Marty. We know.
Who do you think WW is? Woodrow Wilson? Willy
Weston
Wonka?
Willy Wonka.
Walter White?
Wilson?
Hey,
is that a Breaking Bad reference?
Yeah.
God, I love you. I love you so much.
Never saw
I
that
see
show.
Weston
I can't
Wilson
believe
there had to bring the Breaking Bad in there. TM asks, should I drop Verlander, Bobby Miller, Shane Baz, or Gavin Williams for Jeffrey Springs or Robbie Ray? Uncle Ted says no. What do you guys think?
I kind of like both Springs and Ray, to be honest. I just don't know when they're going to be up. And if I had to drop one of these guys, I've come around on this, guys. I think it's time to move on from Bobby Miller. So I would be looking to add.
I don't hate that.
I'd be looking to add Jeffrey Springs of this group.
it comes down to Miller and Verlander as guys we haven't talked about as much, right, Mike? So
yeah,
but we talked about Gavin Williams. We know how we feel there. We haven't talked about Boz. He just came back. But Bobby Miller has everybody terrified, right? So everyone's freaking out about Bobby Miller. Mike says, you're done? But what about Verlander?
He still has a good ceiling. Like he's going to miss time, but he'll come back and throw 5 innings, 3 hits,
floor,
1
right?
earned,
His
4
floor is
Ks.
not god awful.
Yeah. Bobby Miller, you're chasing the upside, and it's a sunk cost this year. Just accept the loss.
And the Astros are only a couple games back now too. They've turned the season around. They're only like 3.5 games out of first in the AL West.
So are the Rays.
Does Robbie Ray intrigue you guys? Because his control in his minor league starts have been really good. And I think that was what we were most concerned about with Robbie Ray is you come off Tommy John, usually the hardest thing to get back is your control. But he's had it in the minors. And he already had good strikeout stuff. For a Giants team, a Giants team that might need him to come in there. They don't Jordan Hicks is really fallen off back from how he started at the beginning of the year. Kyle Harrison has been the definition of a league average pitcher this year. He's not, he's like high 3s, low 4s ERA, about a strikeout per 9, maybe a little bit under. They needed another pitcher in there that could go to the front end of that rotation. And I think Robbie Ray can do that. Yeah. Maybe I'm a little higher on him than you guys, but I think if the control like we've seen in the minors right now is looking as good as it is, I think he could be one of the best one of the best pickups going into the second half.
9 Ks to 1 walk in his last minor league rehab start. 9 Ks to 1 walk over 5 innings.
Yep. And it's worth noting too that Hicks said in an interview that he's quote unquote starting to feel it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they moved him back into the bullpen to make room for Ray.
So done with him.
Yeah. So I agree with that, Mandy. It's close for me. I just think Springs has the higher ceiling. and the Rays are right there as well. I know Rays a little bit longer in the tooth, but Tampa's 5.5 out from the third wild card spot. San Francisco's 3 games out from the last wild card spot. So it's clear that both these guys are probably going to be part of their rotation spots. I just don't know how many innings they're going to let either of these guys throw.
Right.
But if they're right there in the playoffs, I think they have to be part of the rotation.
Well, Springs is like 32, right? So he's not exactly a spring chicken. I believe so.
He's an older one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a late bloomer, no doubt. Him and like Drew Rasmussen. I would drop Bobby Miller for anybody.
Yeah.
Like for a bag of dicks. If it's in bag O dicks.
Always good. Always room for dick
with the apostrophe.
Yeah.
I would say I'd rather have that than Bobby Miller.
Yeah, Jeffrey Springs is an old man. Just for the record, he's 31 years old. So.
Britton, we talked about it on Sunday. Here's a good one for you. Rest of season, Bobby Miller, Shota Imanaga.
Oh, Shota all day. Shota all day.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say that.
Does anyone do we know clearly why Bobby Miller's struggling? Does anyone have a clear concept? This is what it is, and I know it. Does anybody really have that opinion, or is it a mystery?
No, I think I saw Eno talk about it the other day, that he said he can't pinpoint it either because he said his control has been good. The velocity's been there. That was, I think, one of the guys he was highest on going into the year. And someone was asking him about it, and he said, there's nothing to pinpoint in terms of his stuff has been the same, like on the stuff metric. And location and everything looks like it was supposed to, just he can't pinpoint why he hasn't been pitching well. So if he can't figure it out, I'm not going to sit here and act like I can figure it out. So if we're being honest about that. So
Sage,
my guess is, I was going to say, my guess is injury. I mean, they shut him down in April because of shoulder inflammation. So it's maybe he's throwing pitch he doesn't normally throw because it doesn't hurt his arm as much. Maybe he's, it threw off his mechanics, whatever. It has to be an injury.
Yes, yeah, well, Dave Roberts said that the struggles were quote unquote taking a toll on him. So maybe it's a mental thing, and that's why he's getting sent back down to AAA. Like, here's a good comp. He's this year's Alek Manoah, where he just can't figure it out.
Oh,
that hurts.
Yikes.
Yeah. He's been that bad.
I'd forget him this year. Buy low on Bobby Miller next year, but don't worry about him this year. Just move on.
Yeah,
I think
did we talk about Bobby last year? You were a fan, right? So that's how I remember it.
Oh yeah, I bought in all the Bobby Miller stuff. He was a big topic at the Arizona Fall League.
He was
his spin rate and this rate and that rate and all that kind of. He was a big riser.
I'm not saying people jumped the gun on Bobby Miller. He had a good year last year. I wouldn't say it was amazing, and sometimes you hope people take the next jump right away. And it's not a long sample size. A 3.76 ERA.
He had the prospect pedigree. Well, I know is why people liked him too. And he was pitching for the Dodgers.
Yeah, there it is. That's what It's the Dodger blue gives people a little bit more of that helium, doesn't it? It does.
Exactly.
Same with
he looks good in it.
Too.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Nelson never did shit for them. So,
that's a name, Jimmy Nelson.
I want to give Uncle Ted a stamp because Britton. It's not my Greg Dortch, but Juan Yepez is going to have a sneaky second half. 10 hits with the Nats, locked into an everyday role, first base, outfield eligible. The Nats, if anything, are going to be sellers during the deadline. They already got rid of Hunter Harvey, so he is locked in. Only 35% rostered in NFBC, 1% in ESPN.
Yeah, Juan Yepez was a big sleeper, a year or two ago, and now he's been, he's got a new start. He's feeling it. He's got Jose Miranda vibes to him a little bit, so I like Juan Yepez. I've got one more blockbuster. You'll never see this coming. Second half, guaranteed, 100% D. Mindy, Greg Dortch lock for the second half. I hope I didn't build it up too much.
No.
That was pretty subtle, I thought.
It was.
But my lock for the second half is this. Eric Doc Mendelson continues his dominance in the TGFBI fantasy baseball, wins the league.
Wow, that's a bold prediction there.
Wait.
Every single podcast for the rest of their lives.
Wait, what happened? My sound cut out. I missed everything at the worst time.
He said you're coming in last in TGFBI.
I'll bet.
He said that you're going to finish as the league winner of TGFBI.
You think I'm going to win TGFBI?
I don't think. This isn't my opinion. This is a scientific fact. Like
Man,
up is
let me
down,
tell you.
gravity. Hey, did you know that tides are controlled by the moon? Did you believe it? I don't know. That's what science says. Just like Eric Mendelson winning the Great Fantasy Baseball Invitational. Congratulations, Eric.
God, I hate you. You're jinxing me so much.
Let me ask
By the
you guys
way-
before we get out of here.
Yeah, hang on real quick. The Juan Yepez, you know that Scooby-Doo meme where they like lift the ghost like thing off? It's Joey Meneses underneath that.
Right.
That's what Juan Yepez is. They're literally the exact same player. They just rack a bunch of hits. Juan Yepez doesn't do anything. He just gets a bunch of hits. He's not going to get any home runs or RBIs or anything. He's just going to be a boring old vanilla player. The guy you can probably get to help you out on your bench. But I don't have any faith in Juan Yepez. I just wanted to go out and say on record and saying that.
Well, Yepez has a huge history with the Pallazzo podcast because when he was being touted as a somewhat decent prospect 3 years ago, former host of the show, Prospects Power Hour, Phil Goyette, shout out to Phil, he was huge on Yepez, and that's why I first got a hold of him in 2021, and then he got called up 2022. He had a hot little run. I remember a dong on Mother's Day, I believe. He looked the part, but then he fell off, and then St. Louis is like, we're kind of done with you, and he just kind of fell away. And last night, me and Robbie Baseball were talking about how Lucan Baker, who is a AAA player for the Memphis Redbirds of the St. Louis Cardinal system, he's got like 25 dongs in the minor leagues. He's like Juan Yepez. He's not getting a chance, but he's doing really well. He's a first baseman who can't move that much, just like Yepez. And I'm thinking that Lucan Baker is hoping that he can get a chance to get traded or to come up and perform this year. Rest of season. That's another name to keep an eye on. Lucan Baker. He's 27 years old. He's ready to go. He's not some fresh off the campus dude who's trying to figure out what MLB life is all about. I like Yepez, but I think the power isn't quite what it was supposed to be either. Yeah. And if you're worried about Joey Gallo taking Yepez's spot at first base in Washington, I don't think you should worry about that either because Gallo's toast. He's done. So if you believe in Yepez, roll with him.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys before we get out of here. Blake Snell will finish as a blank starting pitcher rest of season. A top blank pitcher.
An injured pitcher.
This is what he did last year.
Exactly right.
This is exactly what he did last year. I think it's going to be Paul Skeens, #1 for the NL Cy Young, and Blake Snell second. I think that's my prediction.
I think he finishes as the top 20 SP rest of season.
Oh,
that's my.
That
vote.
was the number I was going to give as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, wow. I'd have him in the top 20 as well. He's the most frustrating pitcher in fantasy. Is that safe to say?
Yes.
But when he figures it out, he's as good as anybody out there. And that last start against, I'm not saying he's going to go out there and go 7 scoreless, like he just did, but he does this every year. And I think that was the start of the turnaround. And maybe it's too low or maybe it's too late to go get him now as a buy low candidate after that start. But even if the price went up a little bit, I still think it's worth to go get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And I also love Blake Snell interviews. Have y'all ever heard him talk? He is the biggest stoner since the Fast Times guy. He's like, oh, man, the ball, I throw it real hard, man. I'm like, is that English? What is this guy talking about? I don't know, but Blake Snell has got it all figured out.
Is that your stoner?
Stoner
voice?
oh man, it's so nice to be on your show. What?
Are you okay? Let's make a bet. Over under 20.5 in terms of SP ranking rest of season from
over.
Higher than 20, whatever that is. Yes,
we'll take the under. So
I'm taking the under as well.
No way.
And Britton's definitely taking the under if he has him #2 in Cy Young voting.
Yeah.
So we have 3. Mike Govier has the over. Marty?
Over.
taking the over on Blake Snell, so over 20.5 on the finish. And that's so it's basically from, what is it? Today's the 16th. So the next game is July 18th? 19th? Okay, 19th. So from July 19th on.
I can't wait to look back at this episode when we talk about it, when Blake Snell is holding his third Cy Young Award. His third.
Oh, shit.
Right
man,
next to
that's funny.
TJ Friedl's MVP trophy.
Right
Or,
next to
Mike
TJ
Toglia.
Friedel, the best power speed combination in the league. Can't wait.
Doc, what was your answer?
Over.
Oh, so it's split down the middle. That's the perfectly good vote right there. All right, this is a good bet. All right, so rest of season, Blake Snell over under 20.5. That's locked in. We are set to go, Blake Snell.
Blake Snell. Come on.
Govia. I was waiting on it, Govia. You got it.
Oh, man.
No, I don't have it.
You don't have the drop?
No, I blew it. Which one was
No.
What was
Why
the
you
drop we
do-
needed? I'm so
We're
sorry.
locked in.
Oh, damn it.
Lock it in, Bob. There you go.
I was thinking about, I was already distracted because I was thinking about if Eric Fetty gets traded, where or how much will that boost his value? Because the White Sox are going to move Eric Fetty, I assume, and he's been a pretty solid pitcher this year. So that's what I was thinking about. Sorry, I got all distracted by Eric Fetty.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
I would love
Eric-
for the O's to go get him, by the way. I
Oh,
think it's a perfect target. Perfect target for the O's.
Won't
I
cost
agree.
as much as Crochet, that's for sure.
Yeah.
and he can help you this year.
Any parting words or any last thoughts as we get out of here? I know everybody's got a lot of stuff they got to get done tonight, so I was going to wrap the show up. Parting thoughts or anybody?
I just want to say thank you, guys. Triple Play, special place in my heart. Y'all let me come on your podcast, and it was so much fun. I'll never forget it. I really appreciate y'all. And my all-time favorite segment of the Triple Play podcast was when Marty would do like the 2-start pictures. I think he was writing for Fantrax at that time, and then Doc would make these really low-grade, mean comments, like like bitterness, and try to play it off like it wasn't bitter or mean. And Marty would just power through. I mean, that's the kind of chemistry that you only get after years and years of friendship and time together. Really awkward sometimes, but fun as shit. So
It's stuck with the people. That's what I was looking for.
That's
Mission
the kind of
accomplished.
that's the kind of mental headspace that you need to win TGFBI, though, folks. Okay, you got to be able to
you heard
instill
it here
fear.
first.
You got to instill fear into your opponents. Okay, and that's what Doc does.
Doc mixes it up, baby. He's a straw that stirs the drink. So congratulations, guys, on all your success. Thank you for letting me come on. It's just been great.
Man, Brendan, I know like we've talked about before, having you on that first episode with you, or when you came on the first time on our show, and we all said, I know that you have a future in fantasy baseball podcasting if you ever want to, and you spread your wings, and you did 3 is the magic number for us for a little while.
That's exactly right. It got dozens of views, so that I know that's why I excited all the Triple Play guys.
But it was
Brendan had me on. That was our first time together.
And half of that dozen was my wife's friends.
But you know what?
They were
You're a
just
great
making
guy,
fun of me.
and I'm always happy that we get to do some pods together every once in a while. And it's always a pleasure having you on the show, my friend. Mike VA, what about you, man? Please plug anything and or any last thoughts for the podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to echo what Britton said. Appreciate you guys having us on. And if anybody watching right now, if you're a Triple Play guy or you're a Pallazzo guy, you're both, just make sure that the best way to support everybody on the show is go into YouTube, subscribe to both of our channels. This is what we do. We love doing this stuff. We love talking baseball. We could literally do this all night long. Couldn't be a better group of guys to do a podcast with, both my left and right and above me. So you guys have been great. I love doing pods with you guys. This has been fun.
And Eddie asked when we might do this again. I think we're talking about maybe kind of go once a month till the end of the baseball season. So
would love that.
That might be the plan going forward. These are fun to do.
Maybe we'll do a right before trade deadline, a little even sooner. Maybe that could be interesting too. Something to think about.
Yeah, I like that. Go VA. What about you, my friend?
Well, of course, everything Britton and Mike said is true and always will be. We did simulcast this show on our YouTube tonight, so if you're watching on the Pallazzo YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the Triple Play Fantasy YouTube channel. They blow us away in subscribers, but they still need more. They all need more. And our quest to 1,000 continues, as you know. I love what our show does and is about. It's just like Triple Play. We have a lot in common. And a little note, everybody think about right now, take a look at the WRC Plus leaders right now, the ones who are qualified. And take a look at the Sierra leaders. This is all on Fangraphs. Take a look at both of those lists. Do the top 200, actually. Go deep. Also use the middle. And consider, is that player where he should be? 100 is average for WRC Plus, right? You're an average player. So if a guy's at 88, is there more to come? Or is that who he is? If a guy's at 128, 140, is that too high? Is he about to fall back? Both of these lists, Sierra and WRC Plus, are great tools, I think, to look at trades and scenarios for you to make decisions on players that you're not sure about as the MLB trade deadline approaches.
How many subscribers are you guys at right now?
832.
Oh my God, it's coming. I think you guys are getting there before the end of the season.
Yes! Well,
Lock it
football's
in.
coming up, so there it is. We busted our butts, and we love being a part of the show. Marty, Doc, my man, Mendy, you guys are awesome. Thank you for having us tonight.
Hey,
Thank you.
tell Art we said hello too. Little cheesecake.
Yeah!
Man.
Oh, shit. I forgot to say that. I'm glad you said that, Britton. Yeah, Art, we love you. We miss
Shout
you.
out to Art.
Yeah, I think was he camping this weekend or this week? What was he doing? I forgot what he said he was doing.
He's buying his Carlos
family
Santana
thing.
jersey.
That's right. He's getting his
There you
tattoo. on his ass.
The
That's what he's
Carlos
doing.
Santana jersey. That's right. That's funny, Mike.
But yeah, please, whether you're on the Pallazzo podcast, YouTube stream, Triple Play YouTube stream, supporting everyone here by subscribing to the YouTube channels, following people on X. A lot of handles are listed here on the stream if you're watching. And just making sure that rating and review goes a long way. So a nice comment about how much you enjoy the show helps us keep going, because this is all, we do this for free because we enjoy it and it's fun for us. It isn't something we all get paid to do. We just want to bring content for you guys, and you guys showing up in the YouTube comments, you guys writing reviews, all that stuff means a lot to us. So thank you guys, the viewers, each and every week for tuning into whichever shows you guys watch. We hope to see you again soon. So for Britton Allen, for Mike VA, for Mike Govier, for Marty Party, for Doc, I'm D Mendy. We're going to make like a bread chuck and we're going to haul these buns. Talk to you guys next week.
Later, guys.